Hi everyone, in this video we will see how you can configure replicas and shards. Now both of these settings usually depends on number of nodes that you have in your cluster. The basic sandbox cluster at appbase.io is like a one node cluster, but you will definitely have more nodes when it comes to production cluster. So there it's important to manage at least one replica for your data and have multiple shards to improve your search. So let's try to increase a number of node in our cluster by using the scaling feature of appbase.io. I will click on scale cluster. I will scale it to 2 node cluster. Remember, you can only scale one node at a time. Till a new node is coming up, let's understand what exactly a shard is. So a shard is nothing but a self-contained index. An Elasticsearch index, that is, if you remember, we call it Yelp in this particular example, is just a logical grouping of various shards. So data within different shards can be processed parallelly while executing a query. Higher the number of shards, the faster the search can execute a given query. It also depends on the CPU cores and the memory that you have. So here it comes with 4 GB of RAM, 30 GB of disk, and one node. But since we are just increasing it, so it would be of double capacity of what you see over here. So as you can see, the deployment for another node is done, and now the data has been changed. You can see it's a 2 node cluster now. So let's go back to our index settings. So here, as you can see, we have one shard and one replica now. Earlier it was 0 replicas. We usually do this when we scale a cluster, but you can also configure it from the index settings. So maximum replicas that you can have is number of nodes minus one. So we already have configured that at the moment while scaling a cluster, but you can configure it more if required, though you can have more number of shards depending on the requirement. So let's update it and test it once whether the number of shards have increased or not. So it just reindexes the whole data depending on the number of shards that it has now. So number of shards have been updated successfully. Now if I go to app overview, you can see that it has 2 shards and 1 replicas. Awesome. So this can help us improve the search, because like now the data is divided into 2 shards, and with the CPU and the memory that we have, Elasticsearch will be able to parallelly search across both the shards and thus give a better result. Thank you.